Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get out. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak. And really, is there anything else you need to know? Probably not. I'm drinking my coffee today from this very spooky cup I got at the dollar store in a 4-pack. The coffee's mediocre, but the cup, well, it's a family heirloom now. That is my 4th cup of coffee today, and it's only 11. Today, I've prepared something a little special for you. A little more extravagant than I would normally do on a normal day when I'm looking at the content of someone like Shane Dawson. So I've got a few tricks, I've got a few treats, I've got a few... I don't have either of those things. Well, actually the treats are tricks, so I've got a little bit of everything. To celebrate Halloween the right way. The snarky, sarcastic way. The Sajak way. But before we get into it, a quick word from our sponsor. Oh, hi. You come here often? Well, you're about to. Are you looking to spice up your bedroom activities? I've got just the thing for that. You trying to find a cute little number that'll make your lover's eyeballs fly directly out of their skull? Sign me up. Or a little something for when your husband's out of town, but an extramarital affair's a little bit much for right now? Cha-ching. Or perhaps something that goes zzzz for lonely single women. Like me. You can say that again, friend. Well, today's video is sponsored by Adam and Eve. And with over 50 years in business, Adam and Eve is your one-stop shop for all things intimate. Except a real-life partner. That one you're gonna have to get the old-fashioned way. Through an arranged marriage. Lingerie, vibes, lube, products geared toward all genders, no genders, couples, singles, freaks, geeks, you name it. They've got something for everybody. You get the idea. And if you don't, well, I'm afraid I don't know how to help you. Help them. Okay. You take yourself over to adamandeve.com. Use my code SAJAK at checkout for 50% off one item, plus free and discreet shipping. There's no phallic-shaped boxes on your doorstep. And that's a guarantee. Shipping's free in the US and Canada. I love Canada. Of course, some exclusions apply. Exclusions. And with a 90-day no-hassle return policy and 24/7 customer service, you really would be an absolute doorknob to pass that up. Don't be a doorknob. Thank you so much, Adam and Eve, for sponsoring this video. Thanks. Now back to the regular lady that has all the laundry. Crazy how we get sponsors here. Thank you so much to Adam and Eve for sponsoring this video. I love you. Go love them so you can love you. Tagline. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you check out the links in the description, make sure you are registered to vote. My God, the election is next week. And that's terrifying! Please vote. Alright, let's get into it. Today, I thought, like last time, I wanted to watch the conspiracy portion of Shane's new podcast episode. Because if you missed it last time, pretty much every single thing that was brought up during their conspiracy corner, none of it was conspiratorial, none of it was a conspiracy theory. A lot of them were just stories or just factually incorrect. So we went through and we kind of Googled as we went, and you know, I had a good time. It's the Capricorn in me. I love proving people wrong. So we're going to be watching the conspiracy corner portion of Shane's latest podcast. But in between, we've got a little something special for you. It's down in the kitchen. Elevated Sajak is making something special. Well, hi. Reporting live from the kitchen compound of Fat Sajak. But just this little corner, because the rest of it is an absolute disaster. Alright, so we're finally gonna put our money where our mouth is, okay? And we're gonna make these bullshit cookies. They sound disgusting to me, personally.
Grandma, nice? We're making the famous pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. You can't go to bed.
I can eat them in the morning.
I'm doing this ever so slightly elevated. Quite frankly, at 9:04 PMs, I found a few of those Frankie Valley TikToks that have gone viral. That poor son of a bitch does not know where he is, but god damn it, every time I'm high. This gets me right there. By the way, just disclaimer, recreational candy is very much legal in my state. I am committed to the bit. Step 1, preheat the oven to 350. Already in progress. State-of-the-art equipment. Line cookie sheets with parchment paper. Bitch. Already know. Mom, don't play around. Or whatever it is people say. Why did I buy this from Sam's Club? My kids don't eat that much bread. And I sure as hell don't eat that much bread. Clearly, I haven't touched a carb in a decade at least. In a medium bowl, combine all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour. By the way, I didn't buy whole wheat flour for this recipe because, quite frankly, as committed to the bit as I am, $7 at a Walmart for whole wheat flour to do God knows what to this already god-awful recipe. No. I gotta draw the line somewhere, and that's where I drew it. So I'm just doubling up on the all-purpose flour, okay? In a medium bowl, combine all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour, baking soda, pumpkin pie spice, and salt, and then set it aside. Like children when you gotta go bowling. All right, so let's talk measurements. 2.5 cups of all-purpose, which is gonna turn into 2.5 plus a quarter cup. Listen, I'm an adult, and how I do math is my business. Shh. I'm sleeping. Wow, good to see that things are running smoothly, Sajak. We'll check in with you in just a little bit. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? This video is gonna be kind of all over the place, so stay with me, all right?
Okay, welcome back. All right, we have some good ones today. I'm very excited. The first is an email we got from Marley, and the subject is Lizzie lookalike, it's a clone. Okay, so I was a little like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes these clone ones aren't super on point. This is insane.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
Wait, is that me?
You know, part of me wants to like Lizzie.
It does look like
Her hair's just a little more toned.
That's crazy, right?
That wasn't me.
She said, no, that was not you. She said, me and my best friend found Lizzie's clone at the Dr. Phil show.
That sounds right.
And we literally thought it was her. That is so funny. Were you on Dr. Phil?
I wish.
Wow.
It really did look like you.
It really did.
Wow.
Sometimes I get got by these.
Okay. This is another clone email. This is from...
By the way, before we get into the other email, that's not what a clone is. This is, I understand, nitpicky central, but like a clone is like manufactured by someone. Like if Lizzie were cloned, like there's a good chance she'd know it. You know, I think what they're looking for is doppelganger. I know these things like in and of itself, like these things don't necessarily matter, right? Like these are just little details that don't actually like affect the content one way or the other, but they could. Like imagine then going on sort of like a tirade or like a side tangent about doppelgangers and the history of doppelgangers, because it's actually really interesting. In German folklore, a doppelganger is an apparition of a living person, distinct from a ghost. In this context, doppelgangers are believed to be invisible, exact replicas of people and are sometimes described as the spiritual opposite of their human counterparts. In some folklore, meeting your doppelganger is a sign that your death is near. That would be such a fun topic to explore. Genuinely, I would have thought that was incredibly interesting. But let's get to the second email about clones, I guess.
Courtney, she said, oh my God, I saw somebody and they look just like Spencer.
Oh, all right.
Now this is a picture, not a video. Here we go.
Oh, wow. That guy looks a lot like me.
Are we sure?
Oh my God.
That is
Spencer, that's like Army Corps Spencer.
Yeah, if we were ever wondering what a different hairstyle would look like on you, that's literally it.
That is crazy.
Is it? I mean, I can see a little bit of similarity. He looks like Tyler Baltiera from Teen Mom. Sorry, I wanted to change the lighting entirely.
Wow.
That is you.
Wow, yeah.
Is that you?
That's dude.
That's you right there.
I saw it more in the wide.
Were you both
Greg.
at the Dr. Phil show?
Wait, he was at the Dr. Phil show too? Oh, I was like, there's something up.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
No, it'd be kind of on par for Dr. Phil, honestly.
Those are really good. I feel like those are some of the best clone ones we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what clones are, but okay.
Now this next conspiracy sounds stupid.
Oh, what a nice change of pace that'll be. Before we get into this, I think we should check downstairs with elevated sajak and see what she's doing. Look at this is a bowl of flour. I liked in Ryland's video this year when he was like, TSP means teaspoon, right?
TSP is teaspoon, right? There would be a B if it was tablespoon. This is important. We can't mess this up.
TSP is teaspoon.
Oh, that's teaspoon. I know, but I feel like they trick you. There's some that are different than others.
Your ignorance is no longer adorable, Ryland. Mom talk will never survive this. Holy shit, Morton Salt Girl, take it easy. Consider it done, bitch. How dare you interrupt me? So this is our bowl full of flour, pumpkin pie spice, baking soda, salt. And that's really it right now. I'm gonna set this aside because I'm good at following directions. Bye. In a large mixing bowl. Here she is. Beat butter with an electric mixer. What am I, a millionaire? On medium to high speed for 30 seconds. Add granulated sugar and brown sugar. Beat until combined, scraping sides of bowl occasionally. Wow, this is a big step. So as we know, if you've been around here at least since last year, Ryland's biggest issue last year is that he melted his butter. It needs to be softened at room temperature. These have been softening at room temperature since last night when I was supposed to film this. So it's very squishy, but it's not melted because melting it changes the consistency of the entire cookie, you dumb idiots. Ugh. You know, I went to Catholic school and I like to wonder if any of the people, specifically the teachers from the Catholic school I went to, even bothered to remember me, but also saw what it is I do today to make money so that my children can eat. I'd be pretty proud of that. Well, all right, let's carry on.
This is Big Brother related. So I was watching the live feeds and I saw this moment happen with Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn is on the show.
She's a mom.
She's a mom and she was evicted, but she is a big conspiracy theorist. And here's one of her favorite theories. She doesn't really go into it, but I will.
I feel like hamsters are a conspiracy that no one talks about.
I think that might just be a Google search away.
Me to the entire Shane Dawson podcast. Me to every single conspiracy theory that Shane Dawson calls a conspiracy theory that is actually just a quick Google search away.
Okay.
What? Hamsters?
Okay. Hear me out.
Yeah, let me hear you
Hear her out. Have you ever seen a hamster in the wild?
No.
No.
Do you think that you live somewhere where hamsters would be wild, though?
Oh.
No, you haven't, have you?
Did they breed them for little idiots like me?
I don't know.
That were like,
but
"Mom, I
have
need
you
a
ever
hamster."
seen them out in the wild? Do you ever have a hamster problem with your yard? Do you ever have a hamster problem in your house? Do you have hamster traps? No, you don't.
So is your argument that hamsters are pestilence or that they are not wild? Because either way, weird argument.
I'm sick.
So I Googled it, right? And it
Brooklyn's
was like,
onto something.
What?
so I Googled it, and of course they say they're from here and there, and that they are in the wild. I don't know if I buy it.
Oh yeah, because like imagine other ecosystems that don't exist in fucking Calabasas. Imagine things happening outside of the US. Yes, hamsters live in the wild. I can't believe I have to say that out loud. Wild hamsters are native to various regions of Europe and parts of Asia and Russia. Their habitat stretches from Western European countries through Central and Eastern Europe into Western Asia. The small rodents usually live in grasslands, meadows, farmland, steppes, steppes, and fields. Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen a prairie dog? Shane, you lived in Colorado for 40 seconds. You had to have seen a prairie dog. They're gotta be of the same sort of genus, I would think. Do you think they just show up in hamster stores? I know they're called pet stores, but that's what came out of my mouth.
I feel like hamsters were crafted, created in a lab for pets, because where else do you see them besides pet stores? And at the pet store, where do they come from?
They come from mills, Shane. Like puppy mills. They are bred in commercial breeding mills. Why? Listen, you have to have drama, okay, fine, be that way. But like creating an entire, like, I'm not even gonna say creating a conspiracy theory around it. You're literally just saying words that, again, are a quick Google search away. Hamsters are bred in breeding mills and then shipped off to pet stores. That's where they come from. Again, just with just a little shred of information or effort.
And not only that, but hamsters hibernate for about 2 months. And what happens a lot of the times, spooky alert, is as they're hibernating, parents think they're dead and they throw them out. So maybe hamsters, in parallel to just being made for children, are also made to traumatize children because they're not really dying.
Well, pack it in. I think we've uncovered the truth. Hamsters typically hibernate for 3 to 4 days in the wild. Female hamsters generally hibernate for shorter periods than male hamsters. Hamsters will start to come out of a torpor state when they are exposed to warmer ideal temperatures.
Hamsters hibernate for about 2 months.
Right out of the gate. Incorrect information. Thanks, Jared.
No, are you
What?
serious? Is this real?
Dead as fuck.
That's what hibernation is?
Yes.
Maybe
You don't know what hibernation is. Your ignorance is no longer adorable, Ryland.
I've also never seen wild guinea pigs.
No, I have.
Oh, wait, you have.
They're
No,
Peruvian, right?
I haven't, but that's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I lived in Peru, because they're like a big thing. Again,
Yeah.
they eat them. They're a part of festivals and stuff, and like it's a whole. Yeah, I don't know. They must,
eat them?
but I've never seen them. I've never seen them in the wild.
Again, look where you're located. In and around a major city. In one country. In one state.
Wow. Well, let us know. Have you guys ever seen a hamster in the wild?
No.
Please let us know.
They're
'cause
plants.
or are they ground pigeons? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I know what you mean.
How
Pointless? That's rude.
No.
No,
How
pigeons aren't real.
Pigeons aren't real.
What?
They're surveilling everybody.
Huh?
So what if
What?
hamsters are ground pigeons?
Yeah.
And they're surveilling us in our houses?
They're indoor pigeons.
And they're in a cage. It's literally not even hamsters. It's a little hidden camera just sitting in a cage.
They're not even hibernating. Their battery died or something.
Yes.
I'm bored. Let's check in with Elevated Sajak and see how she's doing. Add granulated sugar and brown sugar. Okay. So how much of that do we need, Grandma? Did it ever stop? God, you're rude. One thing about brown sugar. You can pack it. Of course you like brown sugar, you fucking fat. You guys are so unoriginal. Should do this more. In the arms of the angels, fly. I just put so much brown sugar on my counter. Sorry, Sarah McLaughlin. I will donate to save the dogs. They're just combining enough that they meet each other, not really become friends yet. Like they're still wary of. Bitch, I was telling a story, not Giada De Laurentiis. I don't have enough teeth. Next, we're gonna add eggs, 2 of them, one at a time, beating well after each addition. Nice. I'm beating you. Getting beaten. Getting beaten today. Vial. Thank you, garbage disposal. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to put them down there. Leave me alone. Well, lateral move, it would seem.
And they're battery powered, and they have to rejuvenate their battery by running in a wheel.
Jet and Max will not get a hamster.
Okay, I know this is a joke, but it's getting too real.
Oh, is it? Genuinely, I don't like to just come here and be like, God, these people are dumb. Because, like, that's not good content. But legitimately, imagine being in your 30s with a platform of millions. And you spent the first half of your career doing things like blackface and making disgusting comments about children and, you know, things like that. And then you spend the second half of your career doing a cash grab with a makeup palette and being everybody's Oprah, and then getting canceled for that, and like in this last little leg just kind of like making shit up and pretending stuff is scary in a room full of other people who will also pretend that all of these things are scary. I just can't imagine having a platform of millions and doing this with it. I only have 30,000 subscribers, so don't look at me like that.
This I thought was actually very unsettling and weird, and I want to ask you guys about this because you go to Walmart so much. Okay.
Go to.
The subject of this email was Walmart literal mind control. Hey Shane, love the podcast. Please blur out my name if you see this. I do not want to get caught. I worked at Walmart for 5 years while I was in school as a cashier, and I realized when they're not playing the same songs back to back, there's a weird low volume song that's always kind of happening in the background with weird beeping noises and a creepy rhythm. And no, it's not the checkout noises at the counter. It's completely different. And we've all tried to understand what it's saying. We can't figure it out. I pay attention to these things because I work long hours. And then I realized every so often, whenever they play it, it would give me a bad vibe. I don't know if it's every Walmart that does this, but mine definitely did. And I think you should investigate and bring some light to it.
Bet you won't though. Let's see what Jared thinks. Let's see what a quick Google search can do. Yeah, I mean, okay, everything I've sort of found, and I'm not going to go deep into it because these aren't my conspiracy theories, so it's not my job. But from everything I have found, it seems like it would have been like a glitch in the system, like a glitch in what was actually playing music. There could also be an undercurrent of regular, what we used to call back in the day, music, like the stuff that used to play in elevators and used to play sometimes in the grocery stores in like the 1990s. Now, Walmart itself and Sam's Club, I believe they have their own radio station. So my best guess is either there was some sort of interference in the audio where it was picking up something else, a glitch in the speaker or whatever it was playing on, or this is just a load of horseshit. Either way, I bet Shane's gonna get real deep into it.
So I thought this was really weird because I've heard theories about, you know, grocery stores playing certain music to trigger certain emotions to get you to shop more. Like they always play nostalgic 90s music so that you'll feel like it's childhood. It'll make you want to buy childhood things. Like I've heard.
Yeah, because everybody that goes into the grocery store is of the same generation. So it definitely makes sense that they would play one specific decade of music to elicit feelings in every customer that comes in.
Things like that. But I've never heard about like a secret subliminal tone that they would pump out, which sounds crazy. Don't sue me, Walmart. But kind of makes sense.
Are they trying to turn the customer or are they trying to brainwash their employees?
I feel like it's a load of crap. So you could say, hey, Shane, that doesn't make any sense because what would the end game be? So unless you have a sound theory about what that would do, what sort of emotion that would elicit, what sort of behavior that would elicit, then I have no idea what your theory is. Because yes, that is a thing that can happen. That's what happens in horror movie scores. That's why you get that deep, low, growly bass in the score of a horror movie because it brings tension without you really even knowing it, you know? So yes, sounds can be used to manipulate the mind, but what would this be manipulating us to do? Like if you're gonna say shit, at least like have a real theory behind it.
Oh no.
Once again, can we hear the sound?
If we go to Walmart.
Well, let's go.
Oh, I've heard it. And it tells you, buy Hot Wheels.
I love Lizzie actually being like, hey, could we just like actually follow through with this? Let's go find out. Yeah. Right?
Wouldn't surprise me. So I don't know if it's out yet, but if it's not, we're working on a main channel video where we talk about something grocery stores are going to start doing. And they are doing some crazy shit like that. But it's crazy. They're using AI, using things to get you basically just to fuck you over and doing it on a mass scale.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they've been doing that for a really long time. Second of all, a lot of it comes in with Walmart specifically because they are using digital, as I understand it, and I personally haven't looked into it, but maybe I will. They're using like rewards membership. So like if you belong to like a grocery store's membership, they're using digital price tracking so that this is from what I understand, they're tracking what you're buying so that they can inflate the price for you personally. Like, this is the theory that I've heard. So I can't wait to hear the half-baked results of that on November 18th. It seems like the greater concern is that employees can increase the price in the time it takes for you to pull the product from the shelf and take it to the checkout. So this seems to be the bigger theory behind it all. Anyway, we should probably check in with Elevated Sajak before we carry on. So how's it going down there? Thus far, it's been really, really easy. It comes from the Better Homes and Gardens website, which has no like stories interrupting the recipe. I don't have to hear about Todd and how he lost his leg in a snowboarding accident, and for the better part of the year that he was bedridden, not from losing his leg, but from losing his mind at the series finale of Game of Thrones. And the only thing that would bring him out of that crippling depression is this tomato soup that I make from scratch, and you're gonna love it. Come on! Oh, Jesus. Oh, that slapping sound. Oh, God, clean as you go. My oven has been preheated for like 3 days. Now it looks like the finest dog food. It looks like a commercial where someone would utter the phrase, chicken byproduct meal. God, we're so stupid as a country. But we do this the old-fashioned way, the way we do it with chocolate chippos, where you pour in just like a little bit at a time until this becomes incredibly laborious and you're like, Mom, can you finish this? I know I said I wanted to help with cookies, but I really just wanted to eat the batter and I don't feel like doing any of the actual hard work. And your mom's like, nah, bitch, I'm outside having a cigarette. You figure it out yourself. You know, can anyone relate? Prep time, 3 hours. My kid's at an age where he wants to play Mario Kart all the time, and I'm like, oh, but mommy's got things to do. Okay, let's do it. I got it all in because I'm not a fucking virgin. No offense if you're a virgin. I mean, good for you. Don't bother. Because I'm really focusing on the pain in my hand, but also the patterns that are being made in my batter. Patterns. Conspiracy theory. Are you guys enjoying the video so far? This smells phenomenal. I hope these are good. I hope to be proven wrong. I may be a hater, but I can admit when I'm wrong. Stir in the chocolate, the whole bag. Oh, they're minis. Oh, fuck me, I didn't even look at what I was doing. Thick, it's like goopy, but it's solid. So it smells phenomenal. Drop dough in 2 tablespoon yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll grab a spoon, thanks. 2 inches apart under the prepared cookie sheets. Bake for 10 to 12 minutes or until edges are light brown. Cool on cookie sheets for 2 minutes. Transfer to a wire rack and let cool. Don't tell me how to live my fucking life, okay? Great. Wow. 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 All right, let's pop them in the oven. They're going to a 350-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So let's put them in there. Bye. You're the best. Wow, we need to clean up. She's really taking one for the team. Plus, she looks great.
And I think your phone might be able to do it too. Because think about it. We think that I thought of something and then I looked at my phone and I saw it. But what if your phone is just projecting the sound into your head before you see it and implanting the thought so when you see it, you're more attracted to it? What if it's actually the other way around and you never thought about it? It was your phone telling you and then your phone was showing you.
Okay, see, that's a fun conspiracy theory, right? That is a fun conspiracy. I like that. Thank you, Jared, for something that is actually a fun hypothetical, okay? Not fun that if it were to really happen, but like a fun topic of discussion. Like, that would be an interesting thing to look into. I feel like that's what they should call this podcast. That would be an interesting thing to look into, but we're not gonna bother. We're just not gonna bother.
That's a trip. Think about it. Just think about it.
Listen, falling down that rabbit hole, I just saw it today. I haven't fully researched it, but I just saw today.
You haven't fully researched it, are you sure? That doesn't sound like you.
That AI now is able to go into your brain and figure out what you're thinking about and then make a picture out of it. They literally are hooking up to people's heads, having them think of an item, and then AI will literally say,
why would they want this?
Apparently that is in fact a thing. According to the AI overview, there's something called Brain GPT, which is a portable, non-invasive hat. I think non-invasive is just factually incorrect, because if it's reading your thoughts, by that very nature, it's invasive. A portable, non-invasive hat developed by the University of Technology, Sydney, that uses an electroencephalogram. Woo! To translate silent thoughts into text. This technology can help people who are unable to speak due to illness or injury communicate with others. So there you go, Rylan, there's your answer. That's who this is for. That's what the point of it is. Now, will it likely be absolutely abused in horrific ways? Yeah, probably. What hasn't been? But, you know, again, just a really quick Google search. Spooky.
I don't know, but they are figuring out how to read our fucking thoughts.
Wow.
Woo. So that's scary.
Yeah, it is, if it's not used for its intended purpose. But I think it's actually quite innovative for people who do not have the ability to communicate verbally. AI could be our best friend or our worst enemy. It just depends on whose hands it ends up in.
So on the phone thing, well, I guess your baby's still pretty young, so hopefully this hasn't happened yet. But our babies, literally, right? Like, the second that they could start crawling around, all they're doing is trying to go for our phone.
Oh, and
it's all they do.
And I have like the Apple Watch on my ankle. Like, I'll be across the room and they know, like, they touch it and it lights up. And we've never given them our phones or iPads or anything for them to have prior knowledge to want that technology. But if there's
why is that creepy? Like, it makes perfect sense. There are bright lights and colors on the phone. As a baby develops, they start to be able to see more colors. When they're very little, they can see black and white and red and all of that, and those are the ones that stand out. And as they get older, they start to gravitate towards things that light up or things that are colorful or things that move. Like, that's just a natural human curiosity. It has nothing to do with the technology. You know, the ghost of Steve Jobs is not inside your iPhone going, come here, child. Like, it's not how it goes. They also very likely reach for them because they see their parents on them all the time. No judgment, I'm just saying. They like to copy behavior. That's called human curiosity, and it's really not creepy. It's actually pretty fucking normal.
I walk in, it's in my pocket, I'm not even touching it or anything, and then Jet will like crawl over, and he'll crawl over, and then I'll look and his hand is like reaching into my pocket to grab my fucking phone.
Spooky.
Scary. And they know how to already. So like when I was turning the other way, right, like I think Max had my phone and I didn't know, and I look over, I'm like, oh my god, he's like touching apps. Like, he's figuring it out. He's 10 months old. It's the scariest thing in the world. So I don't know what the phone is pumping out. Or
it's not pumping out anything. It's a screen with colors. You absolute doorknobs. No conspiracy with why a child... They would do the same thing if they had a small television, or if they had a water mat, or if they had a play phone. Like, they gravitate towards those things because they are attractive to a child. They are colorful. They move. They make sound. They light up. God, I swear these are making me dumber.
I wonder if it's because they see us doing it so often.
I wonder.
I thought that, but honestly, we're not really around our phones that much around them, because when their wake windows, like, we're pretty, like, hanging out with them. Like,
yeah, when you're not bowling and Anyway, real quick, let's check down with elevated sajak and see how she's doing. I opened the oven, which you're not supposed to do when you're baking. I opened the oven and a waft of basic white pumpkin hit me square in the nostrils, and I think if I end up liking these cookies, I will admit it. I'm gonna be pissed. 22, 21. God, I love New Year's. I know you don't need a specific date on a calendar to start anew, but when you ring in, no, not like that. Having an opportunity to hit a reset button on, I have some stuff probably, I don't know. Can't just say when. Can't tell if they're done or not. I don't want to pressure them. A girl needs some milk.
Not really on her phone, so I don't know. Or maybe it's just an intuition thing. It's very scary though.
Is it scary? Is it really scary? You can tell that Jane Dawson has never faced anything scary in his entire life, because apparently a baby gravitating towards a phone is fucking terrifying.
I mean, we're all sickly addicted to our phones. Even if your screen time is low, humans are full-blown addicts. Like, if you took this away from us, I don't think any of us would be chill.
Like, I don't know where mine is right now, and I can't think straight.
Did you have, I don't know if anybody has Verizon, but like that thing happened very recently where like Verizon, like pretty much everyone who had an iPhone that was a Verizon didn't have service or wasn't able to use your phone at all for like several hours during a day recently.
Wait, I have Verizon, but I didn't notice.
Yeah, this happened, and I went to the Verizon near here, and there was like a literal angry mob outside of the Verizon store, like screaming, losing their mind. The guy's like, oh, it's just down, it's not a big deal, and one guy's like, you're stealing our information. He's like, not what's happening, the thing is just down. And like they were losing it. I thought they were gonna like jump this man. It was terrifying.
Wow, what a terrific story about customer service.
And like I had a crisis where I was like, wow, I'm so addicted to my phone. But then like I put my phone down, started talking to people around me, and me and this like random girl got beignets and had a wonderful day. Like it was crazy.
First of all, I don't think those were beignets. That looked just like puff pastries. Second of all, this feels like a PSA. Third of all,
wait, you were part of a mob?
No, I went to the store and I saw the mob. I got beignets.
When we were watching Big Brother, one of the best house guests ever, Tucker, got evicted, and I was watching an interview of him, and he was talking about how when he went home after Big Brother and he was hanging out with his friends, he was like, yeah, it made me realize like, oh wow, like in real life, not on Big Brother, everybody's just always on their phones.
Yeah.
It's like, because in the Big Brother house, you can't have your phone. So you're forced to talk to each other. In real life, he's like, I'm sitting there, I haven't seen my friends in months, we're at dinner, we're all excited, and then I look up and everyone's on their phones. Crazy.
That's interesting.
And is it? I mean, I think the conversations these people have are so interesting, because I feel like it's just something that's just common knowledge. I think that's like the undercurrent of all of these, is like everything that these people find to be conspiratorial or suspicious or in any way surprising or creepy or scary or crazy is just like stuff that other people already knew. I bet if you ask 10 people on the street, all 10 of them will say that yes, people are on their phones all of the time. I don't quite understand how in any capacity that's interesting. Maybe the study of why, maybe looking into phone addiction, the addiction of having instant gratification at your fingertips all the time, maybe like actually delving into that might be interesting. But the fact that he just said, yes, people are on their phones all the time, and that's not interesting. It's just a true statement. Elevated Sajak, how's it going? How's the video going now? Are you getting bored? Is this the only part that's keeping you afloat? I get it. Bone white. It's been 12 minutes. I'm gonna say that this is good. I'm gonna whip it out. Spatch. Who told you could? Solidified. And destroys the husband, am I right?
Okay, speaking of phones, this is another scary thing that companies are doing involving our phones. So I didn't believe this was real, and I looked into it, and it literally is. Companies have realized that you do the most online shopping when you're drunk.
Wow.
What? So when you're drunk is when you go on and you're shopping online and you're sitting on the toilet and you're kind of wasted and you're looking and you start buying things, right? This is actually true. So brands are taking advantage of your drunkenness. Retailers go to great lengths to capitalize on your drunken stupor and capture a chunk of this $45 billion-dollar market. They will have late-night flash sales, and a president of an online retailer said post-bar inhibitions can be impacted that can cause healthy impulse buying. That's why we always send out emails at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. on Friday nights, because that's when we get the most return.
No way.
Wow.
And then so I look back through my emails and I started searching like different things that I've bought. And it's true. All these different companies that I've bought things from will send me emails at like 1, 2 a.m. on a Saturday night being like, hey, brand new sale, clearance sale, check this out.
I beg you, Shane Dawson. I beg you. Please take a marketing class. Please take a marketing class. Even if it's just from like University of Phoenix Online, Trump University, whatever you gotta do. I just don't think that like so much of this is like as big of a surprise as they think it's going to be. Like, and again, this would be a really interesting conversation and a really interesting topic if you actually delved into it. Folks at Finder.com say they commissioned a study of 2,179 representative adults earlier this year. What year was this? Last year, so in 2023, and asked them whether they'd made a recent purchase while they were under the influence of alcohol, and if so, how much they spent. Their findings included roughly 17% of survey respondents acknowledged making at least one drunk purchase over the past year. Broken down by generation, Gen Z was 28%, Gen Y was 33%, Gen X was 8%, and Boomers were 2%. Average total spending while under the influence, that's $309, which would work out to be about $14 billion. The number one category of drunk purchases by both men and women, according to the survey, was shoes, clothes, and accessories. 46% of purchases reported by men and 50% of those reported by women. Rounding out the top categories, food, alcohol, gambling, and cigarettes. And while it wasn't at the top, it's eye-catching that 16% of those who said they had engaged in drunk shopping said they'd actually bought a motor vehicle as a result. Okay. Cool. But like everybody's prone to, you know, a drunk shopping escapade here and there. Of course, our inhibitions are low, our impulse is high. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're more social, so we're talking to people who maybe have things that we want. Our impulse is up, inhibitions are low, bam, bing, bang, boom, drunk shopping. It makes sense that companies that sell things like clothing and shoes and accessories and things like that, of course they're going to market. That's like, there's a section in your YouTube analytics that tell you when your viewers are online the most. So would it not behoove the YouTuber to post a video during the time when their viewers are mostly online? It's the same kind of thing. Again, I think that's just basic marketing. Is it a little underhanded? Yeah. Is it a little sketchy? Yeah. But like, it makes sense from a marketing standpoint. So like, I don't get why this is such a big fucking deal.
Then I started thinking, does it go even farther than that? Like, is our phone tracking where we are, what we're buying? Like, what if your phone sees that you're at a bar? What if your phone sees, oh, you're on your way home? And now, boom, there's the email.
Can this technology be implemented at ShaneDawsonMerch.com?
I think.
Yeah, because we all know how much they're struggling. Yeah, of course it does. That's why your phone will prompt you. Do you want us to share this information with the app to make your advertising more spot on? And you can say, ask app not to track, and even still, it probably does. Literally, this is just basic technology at this point. Like, you have to understand, if you have an Alexa in your home, she's listening all the time, not just when you call her name, like most women. It's just marketing, man.
It is true though, because
Just put QR codes at bars all across the country.
because randomly I'll be on my phone, I'll see the navigation like little symbol, and none of my apps I've allowed it to have like navigation on it. So and it kind of trips me out. It's like, what am I using that's using navigation?
In terms of the navigation symbol, I have also thought that's weird. Apparently, according to Apple, it means that one of your apps is allowed to access your location. So you have to go in and manually look at your apps. Again, a quick Google search.
Whoa.
So that's pretty trippy.
I will say, the other day we were driving past the grocery store Erewhon, and we weren't going there. We were just driving past it. And I looked up and I was like, oh, maybe we should go in there and try a smoothie or something. And then bing, my phone gives me a notification. Hey, new deals at Erewhon. And I was like, what?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe that for one single solitary second. There's no way there's deals at Air One.
So the phone knows that I'm close to this, and Air One knows, and they're sending me this thing just the same way DoorDash will be like, hey, are you hungry right now?
Yeah, every time I start thinking about food, DoorDash is like, thinking of eating something delicious. I'm like, fuck you.
They know.
So scary.
But yes, I am.
Like I said, I love Bitchy Ryland on this podcast. I wish he was just, if this is who he really is, like in life, I wish he was like that in his vlogs, because he's like the trying so hard to be like the non-beige mom is so...
I mean, if we just think about what we thought a phone's capability was 10 years ago,
right,
as opposed to what it is now and how far it's come and what the norm is. So I want to put it past it. Maybe even it's something that Google offers companies. Like, hey, for an extra like $100,000 a month, we could actually beam customers iPhones that are within 100 yards of your location to give them deals.
Wow.
You know? Because even if...
My favorite is the way they react to Jared. Like, he's like onto something. Like, he's just like spitting facts when in reality he's just fucking saying words.
If you're traveling and you're on like MapQuest or Google Maps or whatever, there's only a few businesses off of the freeway that their name shows up.
Right.
So those companies have to be paying more to be on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Right.
But wouldn't the step above that be to like, dude, we'll ping into their brains that they need you.
Oh.
Oh my god, shut up. Elevated sajak, how is it going? When someone asks a question, they're typically expecting a fucking answer. I'm gonna let them set up and solidify because they are still very doughy, which makes me feel a little bit concerned. What do you guys think of the sponsor in today's video, huh? Pretty good? You get yourself a little something. You get yourself a little buddy. Cuffing season, when's that? When does that happen? And what does it mean? I'm not actually asking. Oh my god, my nose itches. I may be old. That's all. All right, motherfucker. Oh god, there's so much of this podcast left.
Speaking of retailers doing weird things to fuck with us, I saw this and I thought, I mean, obviously it's supposed to be funny, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I think this was the plan. So look at this sketch about TJ Maxx and what they do.
So the only thing left we have to do for TJ Maxx is figure out the checkout line. I'm thinking we just get like a couple cones or ropes and just a basic checkout line. No, I say we create the line using shelves, and we'll put stuff on the shelves for people to buy. But what will we put on it? The most random collection of stuff. See, that's not gonna work because people are just gonna walk by all the stuff to get to the cashier. Yeah, you'd have to like somehow force them to look at it. As long as there's a line, they'll have no choice but to look at it. The key, I guess, is to make sure there's always a line. We'll have one cashier. Okay. That's okay. Oh, and check out the sample price tag I made. No, I don't like it at all. Well, it's not done yet. Hold on, watch this.
I mean, first of all, onto something. Yes, they put all that crap for you to look at. And the price tag thing, it's on every single item.
Yeah, because it's a store where you're supposed to believe that you're getting a discount on a product that you would have paid more for elsewhere. Again, it's not a theory. There's no conspiracy. Like, it is what it is. And if, first of all, Shane's got a hate boner for TJ Maxx, clearly, because he's already been there, fucked up all their makeup and returned it. I have such a difficult time listening to this man talk because, first of all, I would really love it in general, in the general scope of his content, if he would stop trashing places where they sell affordable things for people who don't have millions of dollars, who don't get emails from Erewhon, who don't know what the Hailey Bieber smoothie tastes like. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to feel very, very, well, it's not starting. It has felt very, very pointed and very, very classist to continue to act as if him pointing this out is some sort of like advocacy for people who are poor. Because the reality is you're not advocating for anybody. You're not bringing awareness to anything. You're just saying this looks weird. Like, price markups are a new concept. They're not. They're really not. Take a look at 95% of Black Friday sales. They're all marked up to be brought down to the same price they are the rest of the year. Like, these are not new concepts, nor is impulse buy section of the checkout line. Also, did you credit this creator in your description? I'm gonna bet that you didn't.
It's like used to be $200. Now it's only $20. It's on every single item. How is that even possible?
And not only that, but you will be hard fucking pressed to go to TJ Maxx and not be behind at least 3 people that want to return 100 things. And that shit takes forever.
And then they're mad about the policies of the returning, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't even be here anymore.
Wow. Imagine all the real problems they have.
And then the lady that takes up a $1.99 outfit, and she's like, I'm pretty sure this is less than that.
Sometimes I'm almost like, I'll just pay for it if you leave. Just go.
But they do have the cutest mugs while you're waiting in line, because I feel like I'm their targeted audience.
We have plenty.
Also, I saw somebody sent an email and said, I asked ChatGPT what the TJ Maxx conspiracy was, because I wondered if it would know from one of my old videos. And it literally replied and said, Shane Dawson has a conspiracy that going into TJ Maxx might make you have to diarrhea. I was like, what? And then I remembered that one video.
Oh, I thought that was just Target.
And
No, it's Home Goods, TJ Maxx.
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble?
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe there is a sound that makes you have to diarrhea.
You have that problem at
There it
Target.
is.
I have a vibration everywhere.
I need to know it.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you. These are yes or no questions.
No. That's my answer. I'm not listening to your ad. Elevated Sajak, you got anything?
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
So I guess we're probably approaching the time where I should put one of these things into my everlasting gobstopper and tell you what I actually think. I'm afraid to like it. I'm almost more afraid to not like it because, again, it still sounds pretty gross. So, here's to all the times I watched these videos so that you didn't have to, and yet still subjected you to them. This is the ultimate sacrifice, and I will accept your donations of at least $1,000 a piece. No.
Now let's get into our paranormal conspiracies. Okay, who wants to go first? Who has a story? Who has a theory? Who has something interesting that they want to share?
I mean, I have one.
Give it to me.
Lizzie's got one. Let's hear it.
I'm going to give you the TLDR version. Too long, didn't read.
Got it.
Okay, let's not hear it because it's not a TLDR version. It's actually the just TL version. So it's a long-winded story about something paranormal that happened to I wasn't paying that close of attention, but like a friend of the family, I think, or like an uncle or something, and turns out he lived on an indigenous burial ground and had to do some sort of cleansing ritual, you know, like the plot of Poltergeist, only for reals or whatever.
Okay, so I've never told this. Maybe I have in the past, but I'm pretty sure I've never told this story before. And it is one of the most real, genuine moments I've had with a ghost. And I don't know why I would have never told this before. So I was dating somebody, and I was at their house, and they go to bed. I stay up really late. So it's like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm on my computer. I'm just like, hanging out or whatever. I'm in the living room, and there's this picture, and it's a framed picture of this person. And so I'm on the computer, and then I hear this like boom noise, like boom, boom. And I was like, what is that? But it didn't sound like it was coming from another. It sounded like it was in the room with me. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is there like a leak or a rat? Like, what is that? And then I look up, and I see over the picture frame, I see like a shadow, and it looks like there's a person standing in front of it, like a reflection of like something. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And then whoosh, the picture falls down and shatters.
Wow. I don't know how you sleep at night.
So I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck? I run into this person's room. I'm like, I don't know, just have whatever. They wake up and they were just like, oh my God, it's happening again.
What?
Like, what's happening again? And they were like, yeah, my mom's friend is a medium and told me that there is this spirit, this man who's been around me ever since I was in like my teens. And every time I date somebody, he gets protective.
I'm sick.
And he tries to chase them away. And so it's happening again, but you just have to ignore it. And I just whatever. And I was like, oh, the picture.
What if he comes home with me?
Just ignore it.
So crazy. So then I was just like, oh, I don't. It's like, it's not gonna hurt you. It's just one of those things. But like, yeah,
It's one of those things.
literally things like that have happened before, and you just have to release the energy, whatever. But that was like one of the craziest moments I think I've had ever.
Yeah, I can relate. One time, I also experienced a picture frame breaking from falling off the wall. And it's never been the same.
Actually, our dad had told me a while ago that our grandma on his side had a ghost in her house, and she actually named it. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, so my dad would go over and visit our grandma, and they would just like randomly hear stuff falling from the stairs because our grandpa had done an addition to make the house 2 stories, and the stairs out of nowhere, like nails would fall down it, screws would fall down it, and there was nowhere for the nails or the screws to come from. So it would happen so frequently that our grandma actually named the ghost Charlie. And if it was too much, she would just say, Charlie, knock it off.
I love this story. I mean it. I love it.
And they were trying to figure out why this ghost was there. And our family owns a cemetery in Louisiana.
What?
Huh? Or they did. They did up until not too long ago. Okay. But it's been there for, a couple hundred years. And there's people that died. And it's only our family in the Civil War that were buried there. So when it came to do this addition to put the second story onto this house, our grandpa, he was over there in Louisiana, and he took the materials that were used from the gate to build the stairwell and the hand railing. So the thought is he probably brought in these spirits
from
the cemetery.
Oh my God.
Because he took the gates, and maybe the gates were keeping them in.
What?
And they got trapped in the gates.
Yeah. We all know how ghosts get trapped in gates. Classic ghosts.
And these could have been people from the Civil War, whatever the case may be. It was obviously family of ours, but it got so crazy that she just named it. And if she said, stop it, Charlie, like stuff would stop for a bit of time,
Wow. Guess Grandma wore the pants in the family, huh?
She like commanded the ghost.
What if?
But yeah.
I don't know how you would even look into this, but what if one of their names was Charlie?
I don't know how you would even look into this. I would imagine you'd look up the cemetery and the people that are buried there. Also, if it belonged to your family, I feel like it'd be pretty easy. From the man that brought you impossible to Google, we now have impossible to logic as well. Might be a good time to check in with Elevated Sajak. That's gonna be a no from me, dog. I mean, it's like it's trying to be multiple things. I don't like this. Yeah, she's gonna be fine.
I hate this shit.
Just like everyone got an Uncle Chuck and Aunt Kathy. If you're white, you got those.
Does.
You got those.
I don't have either of those. Neither one. Also, Chuck is another name for Charlie.
We all got Cousin Charlie.
I literally do not. I have about 30 cousins. Not a single one is Charlie.
Whoa. That's a movie title.
Well, Chuck is Charlie.
Right.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Those two brain cells came together just at the last minute there.
Leads into mine.
Ooh.
That leads into mine. So mine isn't necessarily like one that like happened to me. This was something that people were emailing us a lot, and I looked into it, and it was really interesting. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but this is a famous wedding dress store in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay.
Called La
Popular.
Yeah, La Popular, and then the woman is called La Pascualita, and so this is like pretty old. And so the story is essentially that the owner of this wedding dress store, his daughter was about to get married, and he was getting her a dress, and she got bit by a venomous spider and died right before she was married. A few weeks later, this mannequin gets put up by the owner in the window.
What?
And so people were starting to be like, wow, this doesn't really look like a mannequin. It starts to look really weird.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
Yeah.
They stuffed her?
Ryland is a master of tact.
The theory is that he preserved his dead daughter's body and has it as the the thing, and that was in the 30s. And so this has been here, and so they're super secretive. They never, when they change it, they draw the curtains. The only people allowed to
Can you zoom in?
Wait, I have some.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that one, Spencer. That's creepy as fuck. Ew. Oh, I hate it. I love it because it's actually something fun.
Look at the hand.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
No.
whoa.
That's crazy.
Oh.
And so customers in the store say that every time they look at the mannequin, it's looking at them.
Oh my
No.
And that
god.
that people have said like it moves, and so people think that the spirit of this guy's daughter, because she never got married because she got killed right before her wedding, is like trapped in this.
Can you
thing.
zoom into the face again? Stop.
Wow.
Yeah, it's better.
Especially like the neck area, like because normally on a mannequin you can see like lines.
I don't know. I feel like if you were looking at this and you really zoomed in, you'd be look at like because you can see kind of like pores. It's wet. I mean, it looks like it's made of wax. I don't think it's like a regular ceramic mannequin like we would have here. But let's find out. A quick Google search, y'all. The story of La Pascualita, a mannequin in a Mexican store window that some believe is the embalmed body of the store's owner's daughter, is not true. The mannequin was installed in 1930 and some say she looks like the owner, Pascuala Esparza. They believe she's the body of Esparza's daughter who died on her wedding day after being bitten by a spider. However, Esparza denied the story. The mannequin is so lifelike that some believe she's an embalmed corpse. Her hands and nails are realistic and her face is waxy. Some believe Pascualita is a saint who can grant miracles. Others fear her and avoid the store at night. Some say her eyes follow people around the store and that she changes positions at night. The police inspected the mannequin and found only wax and plastic. So, I mean, it's in Ripley's. They leave it as an open-ended myth, but it's interesting. That was like the first interesting one we've gotten. Very interesting. Kudos, Spencer. You were a good addition, and you don't look like that guy in the beginning.
If you zoom in, like right under her chin area, there's like a little like lump, kind of. That is not a mannequin.
No.
No, but have you ever been to Madame Tussauds? Or heard of Madame Tussauds? Like, there's definition is created with wax. I mean, she's clearly not made of, you know, run-of-the-mill ceramic. She's clearly mostly wax. Like, that's a wax figure. I'm not saying there's not a dead person inside there. I've seen both versions of House of Wax.
That's very scary.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I have a little story. Okay, so the two scary things that have ever happened to me that are semi-paranormal are once with you in the woods during that haunting video. That was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. But another time was when I was filming with Brittany Taylor.
Okay, well, truly, nothing was scary about that video. Shane hasn't made a scary paranormal video in at least 30 years.
You remember, you know Brittany Taylor. Yeah. So we were filming this like Britney Spears music parody video at the Linda Vista Hospital, which is an abandoned hospital.
Right.
And it's allegedly haunted. Yes. And I didn't know that when I was filming there, and didn't believe in those things when I filmed there. But just so many weird things happened. Like there was like I brought many friends to help me out, and there was like downtime, and we would walk around the hospital, and we were like, how abandoned is it? Is it really abandoned? And like there were like drawers that you opened and had like names of people that stayed there and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this was like really abandoned and just left as is. There was like seemingly blood spots on the walls and stuff. It was super creepy, but we'd be filming and then just hear like moaning in another room, and we're like, can you tell them like quiet on set, we're filming, and we go in there, there was no one in there.
Oh my god, it's not like wind or anything like that has a factor in making sounds. Or just like the settling of an old building or anything like that. But I'm sure Garrett and Andrew are quaking.
And like things like that. There's also a church and like a boiler room at the bottom. I don't know, a lot of weird things there.
It's weird to have a boiler room where they heat the place. It's weird to have a church. Most hospitals have a church, I do believe. A lot of people in their final days or for long stays enjoy being able to talk to Cloud Papa. Plus, some people get their last rites. None of that's weird. I mean, it's weird, but it's not like abnormal.
And I kept having to go at night through this place where there was no light. And like I kept having to go to grab equipment and come back down like up to this seemingly boiler room. And one time when I went there and came back, I saw like one of the PAs, and I like said hi to them, and then I went down to the boiler room and they were there. And I was like, you got down here fast. That doesn't make sense. And like they were like, I've been here for hours. What are you talking about? And there was no one else that was like up there. Everyone had been down there, and I saw a person, and I was like, what was that?
Okay, and the video you filmed with Shane Dawson was the thing that scared you?
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of really weird stuff. Super creepy.
Wow. Well, anybody else before we get to a recap?
I do have one if you have time. So this lady was going to move into a house, but the house was split to 2 apartments. So she was going to be on this upstairs of the house. And she said that she signed the lease, and then she went home, and that night she had this like nightmare. She's like, it was like a nightmare that really just terrifies you. She says that she's walking into the bathroom of the apartment, and she sees a girl, and she's decapitated. What is it? Decapitated, yeah. And her head is like by the drain, and she's like hunched over. And she said she was so scared, and she woke up. She had that dream maybe like 3 or 4 times, and then it stopped. And so she moved into the apartment, and it was her and her son. She was a single mom. The son was like 11 years old. And she said that she started noticing, like the first thing she noticed was a dish rack, you know, the ones like hang from the wall, that it had like come off the wall and gone into like the middle of her kitchen. And then she started noticing like she used a vaporizer. So she said the vaporizer would be like missing, and then she would look for an hour and a half and couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden it would be like in the middle of the floor.
It's a good thing she didn't have a kid around, because you know how they generally move.
And so then she ended up going on social media and asking people like if that, you know, have you ever experienced something like this? What did you do? So they recommended a medium to her. It was a like a partnership. It was like a mom and a daughter, and the mom was able to come in, and she said that they brought like a ghost box and to kind of open communication. And then she asked her, is there like a pathway nearby your house or like train tracks? And she remembered that she had a family member that was related to her son that had died on the train tracks, and he was like, I guess, pushing his daughter on a stroller, and someone like stabbed him and he died. So they were able to like communicate with him, and he was just nervous to cross over because he felt like, you know, he had done drugs, and he was just nervous like what was next. And so then they were able to talk him through it, and then he like left, right?
Wow. You guys remember that show Intervention? I'd rather be watching that.
And then she says, okay, everything's fine. But the woman said, hey, just in case, maybe keep your son, like have your son go somewhere else, because that spirit was attached to him because they were related. And now that he's not here, we don't know if there's other spirits that came through the ghost box.
So what's she supposed to fucking do? Get rid of her son? At 11, you're a little too big for the firehouse box. Like, I don't... What?
And so, yeah, so then she sent her son to grandma's house, and she was at home, and she started hearing like a thump and like a growl, she said. And so then she called the medium up, and she said, is there another spirit here? This is what's happening. So the lady came with her daughter, but she told her, before we get there, put salt like around the windows and like at the door.
And now she's got a serious ant problem.
And then at the door of the front of the house, so it can't escape. And so as soon as she did that, she said that the door slammed shut. And then she said that she tried to, I'm giving myself goosebumps, that she gave her, she tried to open the door, and it felt like someone was like pushing the door shut. And then she fell back, and then the ladies came, and then they went into the room, and they said that all of a sudden they saw like a shadowy figure that looked like a bat or like a gargoyle like coming up. And she said all of a sudden they saw 2 angels coming into the room, and it was almost like a fight, like a physical fight of angels and like a demon.
All right, let's hear how this ends, and then I think we need to check back in to see the results of what's going on downstairs with elevated sajak.
And then all of a sudden she said that the angels like whisked him away. And then the woman said that she had never heard anything, nothing weird happened to the house after that. That everything was safe. It's pretty creepy.
Oh my God.
It's so scary that you never know where the space that occupied before you.
Yeah.
That was
what occupied the space.
That was so scary that I'm afraid it came here. Like I feel like you brought it here.
No, I'm
It's
like
scary.
so bummed out.
I just think it was interesting because I never have heard like a story where they talk about like angels and like demons, like they could see them fighting each other. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You never hear that. It's almost like it's a load of bullshit. Listen, I'm very into the paranormal. I very much believe in the paranormal. I very much believe in ghosts. I'm not a God-fearing woman, but I do have some spiritual tendencies. Wow, that was really life-altering stuff, and definitely very scary, and definitely conspiracy theories. Not at all, not conspiracy theories. Despite the fact that the title of the video is Ghost Hunting Conspiracy Theories. And I do believe it was paranormal conspiracies before that, because we all know how they like to change their titles. Anyway, let's check in one last time with Elevated Sajak and see how things went down. Settle down. I do not like these, and I'm very sad that there's so much of this that still needs to go in my oven, but hopefully my children will like it. By itself, the pumpkin cookie is great. I would try them with white chocolate chips. I would try it without chocolate chips. I would even try it with like walnuts if you're not like, you know, deathly allergic. I wouldn't if I wouldn't. Please don't do that. Boners here. Well, this has been an act of absolute ridiculousness. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I hope you enjoyed this. No, that's not a conspiracy theory, Shane Dawson. Halloween 2024 extravaganza. I hope what I just said, okay? I just said what I said. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, do all the things. Check out the links in the description. You know, whatever. All right. Stay tuned for the outtakes if there are any, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Plug my mic in to tell you this, but I gotta be honest, because if there's one thing I am, it's fucking honest and kind of a bitch and judgmental, and my eyes don't focus on the same thing at the same time. I'm a lot of things, okay? I'm a multifaceted person, but I am not someone who is above admitting when they're wrong, and I don't know what it is about when these motherfuckers set, but these are actually fucking good, and no one is more pissed than me. I don't know, it's hit and miss. Maybe I'll report back in the morning. Thanks for... I don't know, you didn't do anything, so whatever. Oh, coffee mustache. Come here, you beautiful bitch. Is this just how I look? Come here, you sexy bitch. What? Get out of here, you sad sack of shit. I can't have my disc be almost full right now. I'm very busy. Blah, blah, blah. You fucking smooth-brained dorks. Nice, guys. I like it when we can come together. You know what I'm saying? Blacked out on the dance floor. If you know what I'm saying. Stop it. That's gross. One butter chode in the bowl. Get off my spoon, you greedy bitch. Those sound like warm family moments to you. Winter's cold, you know? There are so many other things we could criticize Shane Dawson for, I promise. And we will. Every week, Tuesday, it's 6 Central.